Alright, now for a little pick-me-up. Okay. Okay, hi YouTube. This was such a sick game. Okay. Alright, little background for this game. This was the next day. I was a little discouraged from the previous game, but I was like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna lose rating points. I'm probably dropping below 2,000 because of that loss, regardless of how I do in the rest of the tournament, even if I like beat a master. So I said, whatever. This is the perfect time to test my new openings. And so I got excited again, and I'm just excited to go and play D4 and try that out and get something new and fresh and just learn a lot from a game, whether I win or lose. But then before the game started, the tournament director started talking about how it was the year of the female, as you do for chess, and handed me a book. It's actually a good book. It's Judith Polgar's I don't know, it's over there. It's a good book, but he spent a lot of time talking about it and it was very nice. I just felt a little called out, and I was sitting there covering my face because I wanted it to be over. And it was already past the start time for the round, and I was just waiting for it to be over. And he was talking about me and how I was just a little girl and now I'm a good chess player, and I'm like, okay, all right. And then he's like, okay, start your games. And I was just I shook the guy's hand, and then I immediately played e4. And as soon as I let go, I felt like I was gonna throw up. I think playing e4 in this moment was so much more upsetting than actually hanging d7. I've never felt such rage in my life as after I played e4 in this game, because now it is complete. That loss was completely pointless. It was for nothing. There was no reason for it. There's nothing to gain from it. Now I'm just gonna have another stupid fucking knight or whatever, and there's just nothing to learn. And so I was really upset. I actually had to get up and walk away because I was so angry. And I was just really disgusted and feeling pretty doomer attitude. So yeah, so it was an IRL mouse slip, and I just felt so sad because I've been so excited to play d4. So another stupid emotional game. Here we go. Woo. Yeah. So I'm just playing these moves. I'm spending time on every one of these moves, even though I know what I'm gonna play, but I'm just so pissed off. I'm visibly pissed off too. So it's okay, and then he's oh, it's a dragon, not a knight orf. I'm ugh, even better. Even less to learn from a dragon. So we get to this position. Okay. And here at the Colorado Open, I got this because, okay, this was back when I was switching from Rosalimo Moscow into an open Sicilian with white. And I didn't actually remember anything here, even though this is the most important position, kind of. So at the Colorado Open, I came up with something over the board just based on opening principle logic, just what I thought about the position. And it ended up actually being a line that not many people know how to play against, and it's actually quite sharp and difficult for black to play. So I've just been playing it ever since. And I based that decision in that game off of, this is a good piece. This is his best piece. I'm just gonna trade it off and see what happens. But no one has ever played correctly against me in this, not even online. Well, I think in one Blitz game someone played the right move here. But actually all of these moves are perfectly fine, but only one person has played either one of those. So the point is that I'm taking his best piece, and then I'm just gonna throw my pawns at him. And it's kind of difficult for him to also deal with the whole weak d-pawn situation with g5 coming in, kicking the knight out. And his attack is not super fast at all, because his pawn on d5 hinders the bishop if it wants to come to e6. And you have to be pretty accurate here. So after bishop h6, I got up and I walked away, and I looked at the other games. And my opponent, I came back, and my opponent played e6, which I thought was one of the worst moves I had ever seen. It's just it's so passive, and it just doesn't fit with the opening at all. Plus, now g4, h4 are coming even harder, gotchi hyper, because the light scored bishop is not even helping against that. So it's just an awful move. Of course, maybe he is concerned about his d-pawn, but I don't know. You're just putting more pawns on light squares when that's the bishop you're going to be left with. It just seems illogical to me and slow. So, okay, so I take on g7, and I play h4, and I'm already just better. And he has to be very careful here. So, h5, g4 naturally, and he plays this annoying move queen c7. So, because a lot of the time I'd like to play queen d4 followed by g5 if I can, and queen c7 stops that because he can play e5. So queen c7 I thought was a good move. Also, it frees the d pawn because I'm not gonna take on d8 now. So, okay. What to do. My move was not good, and I don't really remember my thought process behind it. I remember thinking a long time here about many things and then settling on something that I can't remember the reason for. But it's a position where it's like, everything he did was stupid, and everything I did was like natural and perfectly fine. I couldn't have done anything wrong, and he did many things wrong, so I must be better here, which I am. But the follow-up is not easy, I would say. So there's a few good options. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't understand a lot of the computer moves. They look like moves I would look at and immediately discount, because they look stupid. So, insta taking on h5. Well, taking on h5 just kind of slows everything down, because he takes with the knight, and now, like, where's my break? And now he's just gonna trade the queens, probably, and then I have no attack. I think I'm still better here, though. Like, a little bit, at least. King b1 might be reasonable, to be honest. But this is a position I feel like that calls for quick action. Because otherwise, he's just gonna, like, consolidate a little bit, I think. He's gonna play rook h8. And once he plays rook h8, my options are severely limited. I still don't understand the best move, so we'll have to look at it together and figure it out. Bishop e2 is third best, and it's the only move that I think makes sense. So I like bishop e2, and you get a gold star. If anyone finds the best two moves, I'm just gonna be like, why though? Why? I don't get it. They're illogical. Queen g5 is the best move, but like, why? Fucking why? Like, what happens here? You just go back, and then I go back. What? Oh, you want to do it like this? Okay. Okay, if you're going queen e3, then I think I understand. I think I agree. Okay. That's pretty cute, actually. Because now if I go back, now there's e5. Okay, so now I understand, and I agree. And this is obviously terrible for black. Just play f4, and I'm gonna get him. Like, if he plays rook h8 now, he, like, doesn't have the option to take this way, and if he's taking with the rook, then I have this and this. So, okay, I like it. Yeah, no, you're totally right. I understand queen g5 now. Okay. Okay, we understand that one. Okay, the second best move is rook e1. Oh, just also preparing e5. Okay, but, what if he goes e5, though? Was my whole thing. Because now I'm not threatening to take here. Oh, he goes g5, and he just kicks my knight away. I'm such an idiot. God, this is so simple, yet neither of these moves occurred to me. And I thought about playing queen d4 to play e5, but then he plays e5. But these are both just better versions of that. So what was my thought process? Because I played this move, and I don't really understand why I did that. I think I wanted to play, like, knight e2 or something, and build up pressure like this, but I didn't like allowing this, so that's why I took first. Which, okay. Also, oh yeah, I'm starting to remember now. Also, my other point was if he takes this way, then there's no e5. So, but also I don't have e5, so maybe I thought this was happening. I'm not sure. Okay, but now we're gonna play guess the move, because my opponent did not play the very logical e takes d5. I don't know if anyone's gonna get it, though. Doesn't he have counterplay with c4? Knight takes d5 is way too good. It's way too good. That's way too good. All of these moves are way too good. You're never gonna get it. Oh, okay, George got it. Yeah, h takes g4. What the fuck is h takes g4? What the fuck is that? Why are you allowing this? Why are you allowing this? What the fuck? What the fuck is that? Now, as you would imagine, I was a little bit taken aback by this. And, I got back here, and I was just like, what? Like, it's legal? What? And, okay, it took everything. It took all of my energy and my focus to not instantly play d6. Because, okay, d6 is the best, it's one of the best moves. My move is actually better. But, okay, d6 I'm like +5. And I feel like I can play it without even thinking. And just be better. Just be winning. But I told myself, listen, we're not gonna have a repeat. I want to at least find out what the fuck the idea is. If I can at least find an idea, you know, or like a point to h takes g4, then I will feel comfortable just you know, playing d6. But I can't play it until I figure out what the fuck that move does. And it was quite the task. It was difficult. So what do you think? Like, what the fuck what is it? I mean, I came up with the best solution I possibly could, and it ended up making me find the best move. But why? Okay, why would he allow this? Was my question. Why would he allow this? The only thing I came up with, the only thing I could possibly come up with is this is his idea, and he wants to stop h5 happening this way, and he's going to play rook h8 or something. Or, you know, this is a common dragon idea to play g5. I thought this was might be the only reasonable thing that I could do. That's it. That's all I can come up with. Maybe you see something else. I think otherwise it's just completely senseless. So I didn't play d6 because I thought that was just sort of doing what he wanted me to do, allowing g5. I think I'm still winning. I think I'm definitely still winning there, but with that in mind, I was like, okay, I just go h5. Like, what are you doing? And now I'm still threatening to go here, so he doesn't have much of a choice here. He went rook h8, which I guess was his idea. And again, I can play d6. But here, maybe he goes here, is his idea. Like, maybe. I don't know. D6 is always a good move. Like, this is never going to be a bad move. It's just never going to be a bad move. But I was trying to be more accurate. So, I took on g4, which is only +3. But, now, okay, so he takes here, and I simply play bishop e2, connecting the rooks, so this is a threat, and maybe I just build up on the f-file. I could play queen d4. I have a lot of things. There's also, sometimes it's like cute, like c5 fails to queen takes f6, which was something that could happen. So bishop e2 seems good to me. Queen e5 is like the only logical move. And now, okay, now we have to kind of transition our thinking, because the attack is pretty much over, which I didn't mind, because just positionally and strategically my position is so much better than his, it doesn't matter. I think the advantage is worth losing the attack. So I decided to go for this, which is, I just think, like a nice long-term advantage. Knight e4 is the only reasonable move. And now I take, if he takes with the queen, I mean, that's just pretty bad. I just go rook f1. The queen has this nice little, like, it looks weird at first, I guess, but it's a nice little shield that the queen has. It's restricting my bishop, so d takes e is what makes the most sense here. I went bishop c4, and he just defended his pawn. And then, again, I play by far the best move. So, okay, looking at this position, it looks to me like it's gimp suit time, because his king is already halfway in, you know? I just have to zip it up. So queen d4 is forcing a trade of queens, which is the best move. Now, it could be, I think it's pretty obvious that his queen is by far his best piece, and well, just the only good one. It's very nicely placed in the center. It's doing a lot of jobs, and has some control over the dark squares. So naturally I'm like, okay, if I can trade this off, that would be fantastic. So we trade the queens, and I will also note, in case people are confused, this is check, but it's still completely losing because of queen d6, and this just leads to mate. So he can't put his rook over here, and he's just getting mated. So doesn't matter that he takes with check, it's still forcing the queen trade. Okay, yeah, that move shocked me a lot. I thought obviously the move here is bishop f5. And I was very shocked by this move. So okay. I can't take here. But is his bishop any good on f3? I mean, I don't know. Like, he's just tying down all of his pieces. Also, another thing, some background knowledge I had on this person was Daniel played him the game before, and the guy, like, traded all the pieces against Daniel and offered a draw, and then proceeded to lose, and offered, like, I think a few draws. And so it's like, oh, okay, so he just, like, doesn't know what... He thinks endgames are just equal. So I could just play, like, rook e1, I could play rook f1, and I don't know, like, f5 is happening. And I thought f5 was happening, but then I had this weird moment where I was like, as soon as he moves his bishop to f3, he's not defending d7 anymore, so my rook is just coming in. But that doesn't guarantee that I'm going to win the f-pawn. So I came up with this stupid idea to play rook h4, and and then bishop f3, rook f4. And I thought I was just winning this pawn by force. And then he went f5. I was like, for some reason I didn't like realize that was possible. In my head, I thought I could take that with the rook. Very weird. And also, you know, my rook is just getting trapped. So, I can't do that. Now, here's the shocking thing. I thought I was worse now. I thought I was like close to losing. and then I was really upset. That's not true. In fact, I start defending like God now. And I think this is the power of the gimp suit, okay? So he has 2 connected passed pawns that are just very strong, right? But his king is forever in the gimp suit. It's never getting out, okay? I assumed I was worse, okay? So I started playing like it. And only then did I start to have a worse position. So, okay, rook d7 makes perfect sense. King h8, rook g7. Okay, he's threatening mate, so play b3. And white is still better here. Pretty shocking, in my opinion. I think that's pretty shocking. So my rook is completely stupid on f4. It's in its own little miniature gimp suit. But, you know, it also kind of has a job because it's stopping e3 from ever happening. And if I ever undermine this pawn, then everything falls and he gets mated. Okay, so rook d6, only reasonable move. And everything I've done so far besides rook h4 has been perfect. Ask partner for knight. But then I was doubting myself a lot. And I was just having these visions of him playing rook e8 and then bishop h5 and then just pushing this. And that looked absolutely terrifying to me. So I have to play king b2 here. It's the only reasonable move. And it's kind of obvious why, because otherwise this is coming with tempo. If he does it right now, I just take his stupid pawn. But I was starting to feel paranoid and I thought I was losing. So I played defensively and I went rook e7, trying to stop rook e8. And only now am I worse. Only now. For the first time am I worse. And I was miserable here. I thought I had been losing since rook h4 happened. So he got behind my pawns and he's gonna win the g-pawn. Now he's gone from behind to dismantle the lock on the gimp suit, and there's no way I can save it, okay? So I want you people to figure out the only way to save this game. The only way to have chances. Well, you can do something productive by, you know, saving this. Look at this fucking position. I won this shit. Do you have any idea how insane that is? I am a god. I won this. I didn't draw. I won this shit. At this point, I was just trying to draw. Okay. Rook takes f5 I actually did consider, but it's just not good. It's just not good. Okay. So the only way to have compensation is, okay, what is his biggest problem in the position? His king was definitely by far the biggest problem. So, how do I make this an even bigger problem? That's what I was thinking. Also, what sometimes we like to, you know, what we tell the little kids to do is look for almost mates. Like, something that would be mate except for one thing. And rook h7 would be mate except for the fact that he can take it. Okay? So naturally, bring king in. Zip him up. This is, the king is coming in. He is the enforcer. He's coming in with the shotgun. Okay. So, in my head, as soon as I get here and he plays rook f8, I was, like, gonna consider resigning. Because then there's just nothing. But then a miracle happened. Okay, so he takes my pawn, and he's getting all confident. Very cocky. He's, like, sitting up. He's, like, you know, he's, like, you can just tell. Okay? And also, very important, when I played king c3, I offered him a draw. Very important. Very important to win these type of positions. You need to have a perfectly timed draw offer. Brian Wall calls it the broken wing method. It makes you look, you know, like you're a poor little bird with a broken wing and you're just begging for mercy. And it gives them this false sense of confidence. And like 80% of the time when they say no, they lose. So, but you have to plan it at the exact right time where it's like you look like you're starting to, you have some sort of counterplay idea, but it looks a little bit hopeless, you know? Okay. So he just like, he gave it no thought. He slammed this shit down, and I'm like, kind of in the back of my head, I already knew I was gonna win when that happened. Just the way that he declined the draw. So, okay, time to bring king in. Here comes the enforcer. And now he's not really being so careful anymore, because he thinks that I think I'm losing. He thinks the only reason I would offer a draw is because I'm losing. This is not true. The only reason I offer a draw is because I know he's not gonna take it, and then he's gonna overpress, and he's gonna fuck it up. And then it makes you feel even worse when you say no to a draw. It puts even more pressure on you to win. Because then it's set in stone that you have to win the game. Okay. So he's all happy, he's taking all my pawns. Look at this shit. I won this shit. I'm going to be down 3 pawns. I mean, basically. Look at these fucking pawns. Okay? Bring king in. Now, obviously, I think at any any reasonable person would play rook f8 here, because why would you allow the king to come in when you just don't have to? Like, what am I gonna do now? It's not like I can defend this pawn. My rook's in the gimp suit, and like what now? It's slightly hard for him to make progress, I will say, because e3 is hard to get in without hanging your bishop. This is hard to get in without hanging your pawn. This is nicely placed. The king is nicely placed. So it's gonna take a very long time in order to actually win this for black. But rook f8 is obviously what you should do, okay? And then he just took my pawn, and I was like, okay, this is okay. Okay, so king f6. Now, I lost both of my pawns, which seemed like they were really, really integral to the structure of the gimp suit, okay? But now the king is here, and he does kind of a good job of taking the place of those pawns. So currently the threat is king g5, followed by king g6, with mate threats. And at this point, I was like, I think at least I'll have a perpetual at some point. I'm basically trying to get a perpetual going, and with the draw offer, when he already said no to a draw offer, that makes it clear to him that he's not okay with a draw. So it makes it even more likely that if a scenario comes up where it's just a draw because I have a perpetual, he will do something dumb to avoid the draw and then end up losing, okay? Alright, educational. So now he plays rook f8, which makes no fucking sense, okay? And I want you to guess the evaluation here. If you're gonna play rook f8, why not do it when my king's here? Now my king gets here, okay? Okay? So, currently black has these, and I don't have them. But my pieces are so fucking good. I mean, aside from the rook on f4, but the rook on f4 has jobs. No, his face didn't change. His face didn't change till the very last second. He didn't know what was happening to him. It was so awesome. Because I knew it, but he didn't. Okay, so the only problem is, like, if he just goes here, like, you know, he doesn't want to lose his pawn, so he plays rook h7, and I can't take because of this. It's close. It's very close to working. Like, if I could take on g6 and he'd take, rook h4 would actually lead to mate. But he has this as an intermezzo, which is very, very frustrating, okay? I would love to play king g6, but I cannot. Alright? Yeah, he thought he was up 3 past pawns. He was, but he didn't know that didn't matter. So, okay. White's a play here. Our rook on the 7th rank is the only thing keeping this together. If we trade that rook off, it's over, okay? But at the same time, if I move the rook off of the 7th rank, that is pretty much equivalent to trading it off because I lose control over the 7th rank. Now, I already said king g6 loses, so it's not king g6. Now, here's the really fucking funny thing, alright? Rook h4. And it's like, well, why would I do that? I'm just, like, going away from his king, and now he's gonna start pushing his pawns. But if he takes here, I'm just gonna calmly play king g5, and then calmly play king g6, and then rook h7. And there's almost nothing he can do about it. He has to do this. So he has to do something like this, and then I take here, and this is a draw because he can't really defend this pawn. And if he tries to, like, do this, there's just rook e6. And I feel like I could probably win this like 70% of the time against people in Colorado. Just pick off these pawns and win with this. I feel like I could win a kind of a large percentage of the time. But that's also kind of a hard defense to see, and it's also really hard to play when you already declined a draw, and then you're actually fighting for a draw. That you don't want to do that. So obviously he's not going to take on h4. He's going to play bishop h5, and he still wants to trade this rook off. However, now we've actually made some progress. Okay, so it's not as big of a deal for us to move the rook off of the 7th rank, because now this is pinned, and if he ever moves his rook somewhere off of this file, there might be rook g6, things like that. And then this is lost, and it's probably going to be the same thing, actually. He's probably going to get mated in some way or another. So, I would be winning there. Okay, so rook e6, and we made progress by making him put the bishop on a worse square. Okay, so rook g7, and here I was thinking, it's pretty close to being in Zugzwang, right? It's pretty close. I made a hideous blunder here. It ended up working out. This is an equal position, which I think is just really funny. Look at these guys. Okay. So I should just play a4, you know, just do something. Just make him make a move. But I thought, okay, king h6 is forcing this, and like that could be a perpetual chances. And if I can force him to be in that mindset where he's going to take a draw and then say no, that's even more upsetting psychologically. So I went king h6, which fails to g5, and I saw g5, but I didn't see that. I was seeing g5 in positions where my rook goes off of this file, and I was seeing rook f6 happening. But for some reason here, I didn't make the connection. Wait, not there. Yeah, he has... Yeah, he goes rook fg8 here. That's the only move to win. And then rook h7. I wasn't seeing it in this move order. It's kind of hard to see, though, because for the whole game, he can't put anything on g8, and it just happened to work out in this one situation. So I didn't see this here, neither did he. Otherwise, like, he's like, I'm getting out, you know. And this is fine. You know, I can hold this. So yeah, this is a really nasty move. I would have to do something like this, which is pretty gross. This is a lot different than that other position we looked at, where I'm also down in exchange, because my king is cut off, and these pawns are going even faster. So, but it was more just like to see where his head was at. This was king h6 is me. I'm initiating like a test basically, which worked perfectly. So he doesn't want to do this and repeat moves because he doesn't want to draw. And that's clearly what I'm asking him for with king h6. So he thinks he's being really clever here because he played e3, and if I just take this, now g5. Now we both suck, so now we can understand that g5 is really good here because rook f6 is a lot easier to see than rook g8. But now I just go back and you pushed your pawn, and now your pawn is going to be lost. So I made even more progress. So king h6 was a blunder, but it ended up working out really well. The ideal was right. It's just you happen to miss rook g8. So now I'm actually, back to being a little bit better here. Okay. So I've made progress, and his king is still in the gimp suit. So rook d8, immediately alarm bells are going off in my head a little bit because, okay, I take here, and he doesn't want to take a rook off of the back rank. He should never ever want to do that. But then he did it. I was pretty shocked by this. This rook is his biggest defender, besides this one, but it's equally important. Plus, it's just not doing anything. So now I play king h6 again, which I think is kind of a funny, cute move, because I'm threatening mate in 1. Or mate in 2, I mean. So either he has to go back and repeat moves, which he doesn't want to do because he doesn't want to draw. So he's just like, it's like a psychological thing now where he's refusing to even look like he's considering taking a draw. But at the same time, he has to defend this somehow. So he plays rook h7, but now his rook is in a slightly worse place than it was because it's not helping with this or anything. So I went king g5, and if he goes back, I was gonna maybe try king f6. I wasn't sure yet. But then he plays this move, which deserves a double question mark. I just don't understand why you would ever be doing that, because now the rook is completely disconnected and cut off from helping the king. And actually, so this position is equal. What do we think the evaluation is after rook g2? Because I think he still thought he was winning here. I think he thought he was winning the whole time. So I'm +4 now, with king f6 is the only move. But it was what I was intending to play, maybe even regardless. And now this is a mate threat once again. Another big reason the rook is annoying on g7 is because it gives his king a square on h7. So that was my other main point to playing king h6 so many times, is because I wanted to lure the rook to h7, take away that square for his king. Because this square is a lot easier to control than this square. So now he's already lost, but he doesn't know it yet. The game doesn't go on too much longer, but it's kind of impossible to find a move for him now. I was expecting rook g7, because he has to make a square for his king. And then I think bishop e2 is good enough to win, but I think this is more accurate, followed by bishop h7, just keeping that away. I was also seeing ideas of like keeping the rook here, and I don't know, like I somehow wanted to sack a rook and mate him. But okay, yeah, here he just doesn't have a good way to stop the mate from happening. Like he has to take this. But bishop e2 I think is also winning because it's just sort of the same thing, but this is just more forcing. What was the nastiest continuation here? I don't remember. I'm not sure. I don't, like if he tries this, I still take here. Because yeah, he takes, but this is check. And I can take this and be completely winning, but this is mate. So that was like the main thing I was trying to make happen. But yeah, otherwise the mate is unstoppable unless he takes this. So that's what I was expecting. I didn't see anything else, but he played a more instant loss. So he plays g5, so white to play and win here. I should also note that he had his hand like hovering over the right move, and then at the last minute he kind of switched gears and decided to play g5. Yeah, rook takes h5, and mate is inevitable. It's mate in 5 now, because after takes, there's king g6, and what I have been trying to set up for the entire game is a position where I am controlling both of these squares, and this one with the bishop is what I wanted, and it finally happened. So even rook h6 isn't helping, like, you know, because it's like a last resort, something you would look at and like try and get me to do something like take here, because I just go back and the same thing is happening to you, and there's just no way to so if he had any self-preservation understanding, like he would never take his rook off of at least this file, let alone the back rank. But he seemed to think that g5 was his only blunder after the game, and I tried to talk to him about it, and he was not happy. But he just, like, I don't know, like, a gimp suit in the hand is worth 3 pawns in the bush, you know? Or more than that, as they say. So this was one of my favorite games I've ever played. I hope you enjoyed it. I think it was pretty sick. I was feeling really mentally defeated, especially after I allowed f5. I was like, God damn, I'm so stupid. But then I got him in there. Just forced him in there anyway. So, this is a really good bishop. Best game reviews so far. I heard Daniel giggle a few times, so I know I did a good job. Unless he's watching, like, C.L. Smith or something. Which is very likely. If this video doesn't get a gimp suit thumbnail, chat riots. How could I possibly do that and still, like, not get the video taken down? But yeah, that is my take on the broken wing method. So never underestimate the power of a draw offer, because it makes them think that you think you're losing. I wasn't sure if I thought like I was probably gonna lose, but I wasn't sure it was dead lost yet. I was still seeing things. Broken wing thumbnail. Anyway, that's all I got for today.